What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS, here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 5-game NBA slate. Big slate, small slate. Big slate, small slate. NBA, I don't know what we're doing, but I do know that today is the start of the March Madness tournament and all that good stuff that goes on in the college basketball world. So, of course, they've duped our contest over here on DraftKings. We got smaller contests, smaller prize pools and stuff like that. But you know what? Still money to be made. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content your boy puts out over here on the channel. And drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money or the content. As you guys can see, yesterday we had some free content go up on to the membership tab over here on the post for YouTube. This one right here, they gave us a free goblin play, which, hey, didn't have to spend my regular money to go ahead and try to make some coin. Instead, got to use a free ticket. One that, though, wasn't the full 38 because Joker got ruled out. But still, the ticket cashed. Zion, he went crazy in his last little 4-minute run in the fourth quarter. He was stuck at 2 rebounds for majority of that game. Came back in, got 3 rebounds real quick, boom, cashed it out. Kate Cunningham, masterclass over there going up against Miami Heat, who are horrible in the fourth quarter. Right now, apparently, historically, Miami Heat are the worst fourth quarter team. If you have books, FanDuel, DraftKings, you want to take, the win the quarter lines, things like that, I wouldn't mind taking the opposing team versus the Miami Heat, especially if Miami is up going into the fourth quarter, because they are abysmal when it comes out to closing games. Also, last night, told you guys I would get you guys a late night core. Had that posted over there for you guys up on the tab with a little of Nuggets, some news and stuff like that. The Nuggets decided, hey, we're going to rest the Joker. We're going to rest Jamal Murray. We're going to set those guys out. So we got to get Aaron Gordon starting at the center spot again. My boy Ryan Dunn got to start. Gillespie got to start. Plug both of those guys in along with Russell Westbrook. Depending on what you decide to do, if you want Austin Reeves, Desmond Bane, depending on what centers you actually play, Devin Booker, or something like that, this core definitely was a good core to build around. And hopefully you guys were able to cash out on the late slate. Myself, didn't have Denny Omnia. That's really what killed me. So again, sitting right outside the cash line, but the process is there. It is there. And I'm just going to continue to roll with it because no need to change it. I know that it's DFS and you're not going to win every single day. Even though this is no days off, play almost every day. Sometimes it is what it is. It's all luck at the end of the day as well. So looking at it, 5-game slate, going to go over some quick injury news since we only got 5 games, which is kind of crazy. We have 2 games starting at 7 and then 3 hours until we get to late night games. Man, NBA schedule makers, what you doing? Brooklyn Shitters taking on the Indiana Pacers, who are on the back end of a back-to-back. We already got that Cam Johnson's going to be rested today, so we will get someone else starting here at that power forward spot. Might be Watford. That's what they currently have slated. We will definitely have that news by lock. Tyrese Halliburton was rested yesterday or sat out. Not too sure which one it's going to be. Pascal Siakam has popped up on the injury report as a possible game time decision. He might be out today. They might decide that they want to rest him. If they do decide to sit Siakam, start Halliburton, Obi Top Dog might be in at the power forward spot, which would be a pretty good position and a play right there. Value. We've seen him just pop off for 50 plus fantasy points, so that'd be a good position for him. New York Knickerbockers on the back end of a back-to-back facing the lowly Charlotte Hornets, and man, did not see the Knicks losing that game at all yesterday. Like, that was, I'm so glad I did not bet the money line on that. Just everybody, horrible shooting night, period, up and down the roster. So it's a good get back spot for them going up against the Charlotte Hornets. Hopefully LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges, currently they're projected to play, but we have seen the Hornets do some wild and crazy things throughout the season. So definitely, of course, we'll have that news as well before the slate locks. Toronto Raptors taking on the Golden State Warriors. Walters is a game time decision. Jakob Poeltl, he's a game time decision. We're really not too sure in knowing what the Raptors are doing. Last game, the starters actually played 30 plus minutes. The main guys played 30 plus minutes. So hopefully we will get that again here today. Going up against the Warriors, this should be a good matchup if they can keep it close. But it is the Warriors, and they've been playing some pretty good ball, especially with Jimmy Butler over there in their line. They got Podominski back. He is back. Was supposed to be limited to around 20 minutes. Played like 28 plus minutes out there. Like I said, do not trust Steve Kerr. Don't trust him. Do not trust him. You cannot trust him. Some of these coaches, you know which ones you can trust, you know which ones you can't. And Steve Kerr is one that you will never trust that man, ever. But Steph Curry, he was pretty much rested last game that the Warriors were on. Hopefully he is good to go and back today and no one else gets rested or something like that, because that will shake up the slate if that's the case. The Chicago Bulls and Sacramento Queens, they're both on the back end of back-to-backs for them. Bulls yesterday, they got Josh Giddey back. Josh Giddey was supposed to be limited to 32 to 34 minutes. He played right at 32 minutes, and then close game versus the Phoenix Suns, so not bad right there. He did come off the bench though. I would imagine possibly he could slide back into the starting lineup, played his normal minutes, looked fine out there, was balling out like he was before, triple double upside once again. So hopefully wouldn't be rested here today. Definitely something we want to keep our eye on and pay attention to right there. On the Sacramento Queen side of things, though, this is a quote unquote revenge spot, if you want to believe it, for a couple of the players over here. For them, Zach LaVine was held out yesterday for personal reasons. Personal. Not injured, personal. Possibly could have just been they wanted to rest him. And I mean, I definitely would buy into the narrative of Zach coming in here and playing on the Kings court, popping off versus the Bulls. Took him forever to go ahead and get him out of there. Maybe. I mean, it is the Chicago Bulls, weak team. We can attack in certain spots right here. And I do believe Zach LaVine can go out here and have a pretty good day. Outside of that, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan, Sabonis is going to be out for 10 days or something like that. So J-Val will get to start again. And of course, he's in another smash spot for him to be able to go out there and produce and give us some really great upside. Wouldn't mind taking a rebound prop for him definitely on today. Really like an outlook on that. Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Los Angeles Fakers. For them, they are on the Lakers are on the back end of back-to-back. Luka Doncic only played 32 minutes last night. They blew the brakes off the Denver Nuggets. Did not have to play in the fourth quarter. So I do not see Luka resting here. Simply because the race between the second, third, fourth, and fifth seed in the West right now is tight. They need every game that they can win before LeBron comes back, so that they can go ahead and get as high up into the standings as they can. I do not see them resting Luka here. I do expect Luka to play, while the other players that they have out, Rui, LeBron, Kelber, all those guys, I expect for them to miss. Milwaukee Bucks side of things, had a team meeting with Dame and Giannis with Doc Rivers to figure out what the hell they need to do to figure out what's going on with this team. Dame has been playing pretty poor lately, so hopefully we get a shake back, and this should be a good late night hammer game. Definitely, I feel like we should want to get some pieces from that right there. Head on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description box below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. Now, if you guys are looking for the player pool, core plays, prop plays, all that stuff that I provide over here on the channel, you can get that by simply clicking on the YouTube membership tab. It is right there next to the subscribe button. You click join, boom, you have access to all the stuff that is listed over here where it says membership next to it. You can't see that outside of the free stuff that I will tend to sometimes post to the public. But if you guys want to see the stuff that is behind the scenes that you guys can actually have access to, definitely check that out right there. Or you can also check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. That is also down there as well. And support the channel, support your boy. All right, starting out with the New York Knicks, who honestly coming off of this disgusting loss last night. I have not seen a horrible of a shooting night as I did from the Knicks in a very long time. And it's funny because I put my trust into them and they let me down bad. Now, backing up back-to-back starters, they got yanked, didn't have to play heavy minutes like we know Tibbs normally would. I expect this to be a spot where I can go right back to the same players that I was on last night. Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, OG, GPP, Anunoby, Miles McBride. All of these guys will be back into contention and play that we should be able to go back and focus to. I was very high on Bridges just because he's been playing pretty good before the last night's blunder. Now, I understand he got up to 29.75 fantasy, but that is crazy. I had his assist originally in a parlay, and I swapped it to points. And, of course, he cashes the assist. Go with your first gut. Go with your first gut sometimes, y'all. Go with your first gut. Damn. But looking at it over here, Mikal Bridges will still be probably my top play that I want to get to from the Knicks, just simply because the scoring uptick that he has had to have with Brunson being out, but then also the peripheral stats what we are seeing from him, they've been looking pretty good. If he can actually come out here and have a pretty good game shooting from three, this could be a really great spot for him to be able to pop, give us at least a 35, close to 40 fantasy point outing, which I really do think that this could be a position for that if the Charlotte Hornets keep it close. Played going up against them earlier this season. 46 minutes, you dropped 35 fantasy points. I would like to see a little bit more, and I think that the upside could be there, especially without any Brunson being able to take on that load. Outside of that, of course, Miles McBride, he's starting. He's out there 6,200. I'm not 6,200, 5,800. That's a pretty good spot for him. OG Anunoby will be legit the GPP option because look at the price tag. He's sitting at 7-1. Nobody's going to want to come all the way up here and click to that when you can get Miles McBride. You can get Mikal Bridges. You can get, where's Josh Hart sitting at? Josh Hart is sitting at 8K. He's sandwiched in between that. No one's going to want to click that right there. And I really do think that the upside for him is definitely a potential for us to get at low ownership, especially after he dropped 48 fantasy points versus the Charlotte Hornets earlier this season. So good position, good spot. And then Towns will make for a pivot off of some of the other higher end studs that are on the slate, like Giannis, Luka, things like that. Over on the Charlotte Hornets size thing, if LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges play, I would expect the game to actually be able to stay close, but they have to play. We saw them go ahead and rest pretty much both of them last game, and that game just went to complete hell and shit. Now, of course, Miles Bridges, the run that he's been on, it's been amazing. It's been really good. 9K price tag is well worth it. Only 18 fantasy points in 25 minutes going up against Clippers, but he shot 3 of 10. Pretty bad matchup for him going right there. I would think going up against OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, that's going to be a tougher matchup for him as well here today. But he has not played versus the Knicks yet this season, so we have no data on the defense or anything in regards to how well he can do in this position and spot. So I don't mind still taking a chance on Miles Bridges, the possible low ownership that he could have, and plus the ceiling games that he's been able to give us lately definitely makes for a good play. LaMelo Ball, if you're trying to get off of the Luka, Austin Reeves, something like that, that's where you want to go to LaMelo. Don't mind looking at him. I know that he has played well versus New York in the past, but no data for him as well versus them this season. So looking at it from back in 2022, 23, something like that, he's put up at least over 40 fantasy points versus them before in the past. That's all I can give you on that right there. Outside of that, unless these guys miss, we're not going to be looking towards the Bog, the Jeffries, the Seth Curry, or anything like that. And I wouldn't really want to get there. Mark Williams makes for an interesting GPP option at center, pivot off of Towns. If you think that Towns goes out there and gets bullied once again here today, that'll be interesting position spot you can go to. Pacers taking on the Brooklyn Shitters. This right here, Watford is going to be probably one of your best value plays you can get on today, especially if he gets to start. If they start him, he's going to be out there. He plays the minutes. I like it. Definitely a safe floor of about 20-ish fantasy points because he should play roughly about 25, close to 30 fantasy points. He can go out there and he is a secondary playmaker. As you can see by the assist numbers that he goes out there and he gets pretty good spot for him to actually do that here today versus the Pacers. So I don't mind the upside, even with D'Lo being out there and playing. Now, he has not started going up against the Indiana Pacers at all this season, so there's no data for us to look at that. D'Lo, opposing point guards going up against the Indiana Pacers. We can take that if D'Lo is going to play continuously close to 30 minutes. The upside is there. Coming off of what should have been a tough game going up against Boston, but back-to-back over 25 fantasy point outings versus them. 5,800, a decent safe price tag that I can definitely rock with and wouldn't mind. This is one of those spots where I think we can take D'Angelo Russell assist here because the Pacers, over their last 2 weeks, they are ranking in the bottom of the league in regards to assists given up to point guards. And if Spencer Dinwiddie can go out there and get 12 assists, D'Angelo Russell, a much better playmaker in my eyes, should be able to go out here and get us 8 assists in this position and possibility for a double-double, getting 10 plus assists. It all is going to matter on it. Can everyone else make the shots and do what they got to do? Outside of that, for the Brooklyn Nets, of course, you guys already know I like going to Zaire Williams as long as he's going to be out there starting and playing some decent minutes. Same thing for Keon Johnson. Both these guys, they're pretty good targets whenever it comes down to the minutes or rotations and things like that for them. Keon, when he has played versus the Pacers earlier this season, back in January, he did drop 31 fantasy points versus them in 32 minutes. So definitely the upside is going to be there for him, and I don't mind getting to that right there. Now, there is a possibility that they could start Clowney at the power forward spot over Watford, so definitely pay attention to that. Whoever gets to start at the power forward spot is in a good position. Opposing power forwards versus the Pacers has been something we've targeted pretty much throughout the season, and I wouldn't mind doing that here again today. Claxton, GPP option, decent value spot that you can get to if you want to. On the flip side of things, Halliburton, if he's playing today, he should be rested. I wouldn't mind playing Hallie, but he has to actually play. A couple of games off, but every single time he's sat, come back, he's giving us some pretty good production. You're going to tell me he's going to play 35 minutes. I could definitely take it. The upside is going to be there. If Hallie's going to be out, then of course we will be looking towards the Bennett Matherins. We'd be looking towards the Nembhard, the Neesmith, things like that. If Siakam also gets rested here in this position spot, then Obi Toppin, 4,900. Easy value, easy plug and play are right there to me. Outside of that, not going to force anything, not going to go to a Shepherd, Jarris Walker, Thomas Bryant, something like that. But somebody has to sit, and I imagine the landscape right now is too smooth for the NBA. And we know that they've been making it pretty rocky lately for us. So I imagine we're going to get something that's going to break later on today where we're going to know who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Something like that is going to happen. Now, you find your value from the early games, and then you wait for these later games, these 10 p.m. games, because we're going to have some news from here too. The Raptors, something's going to have to happen with the Raptors. They're always doing something. They're always resting somebody. They're always sitting somebody. It's going to be something that comes out from them. Golden State Warriors, is Curry going to be back? Are you going to rest Jimmy Butler in this position, this spot? Because it's the Raptors. Do you really need to play all your vets here? Do you want to get someone some rest time? Things like that can happen. Chicago Bulls, Sacramento Queens. We got to know if Zach LaVine's going to be in. So getting your decent value pieces from the two shitty or ugly games, The Brooklyn Nets and Indiana Pacer is the only game that I see is like close, decent, should be fine from those 2 7 p.m. games. These later games, really, this Toronto Golden State Warriors game could be a blowout before we know it. If the Warriors come in, they're on their shit. Chicago, Sacramento, that's where I would probably want to target right there. And then, of course, the Bucks taking on the Lakers. I think the Bucks, normally after a player meeting and stuff like that, typically teams can come out here and deliver for us. So that's where I would want to pay attention to. Now, looking at the Raptors, for them, I honestly cannot really focus too much on anybody over here just because the minutes, what they're trying to do, it's so baffling to me. I'm not too sure if Jakob is going to play. If Poel's going to be out, we're going to get Robinson, we're going to get Castleton. Both of those guys split in minutes, which they did last time. Castleton got the start, and Robinson still played, of course, decent minutes off the bench. And there was at times when they were both out there at the same time. 21 minutes, 26 fantasy points for Robinson, playing very well. Castleton took him a minute to get there, but he played 30 minutes, dropped 20.5 fantasy points, definitely left a lot of meat on the bone for his upside of what he could have gone out there and did. Good to see that he was pretty efficient from the field, but I would love to see a lot more from him out there. If Jakob Poeltl's in, I would not play this, wouldn't click on it, wouldn't look at it, wouldn't look in that direction at all. Since they've been doing this whole tanking weird metric stuff that they've been doing, he's playing, but he's not playing regular starter minutes. And that's been the issue and problem looking at the Toronto Raptors. Now, Quickly, last game out, he went out there, he played 30 minutes. It's been a while since we've seen Quickly play 30 minutes. If you want to risk it and mess with the Raptors and play Quickly, hoping that he's going to play 30, maybe a little bit more than 30 minutes, that's the choice you can make right there. Same thing for Scotty Barnes. We actually got to see him go out there and play 31 minutes. But the upside is just so far and few and in between. I honestly would fade Scotty, fade Quickly, fade Poeltl, and only focus on their auxiliary pieces in Robinson, Lawson, Shaheed, Battle, Castleton. Those Abaji, those would be the guys I will focus on just because they should actually see the minutes run, especially if they're playing with the minute rotation and stuff like they've been doing already. And we've seen it from the last couple of weeks. On the Golden State Warriors side, long as Steph Curry's in, it's a chef. If the game is going to blow out, one of the things that we should be focusing on is what star is going to make this a blowout. Steph Curry coming off a rest. Steve Kerr said that he needed it. We know that he has the upside to go out there and drop 8 threes in the game. He definitely could do this here in this position going up against the lowly Toronto Raptors. And I wouldn't mind getting him at 9,200. Again, that gets you off of the Luka, that gets you off of Austin Reeves, gets you off of Dame, things like that. Don't necessarily think that you have to go to Steph. I do feel like the upside for us to go to like a Potaminski, a Kuminga in this spot in this game, Moses Moody, those plays would be the ones I really would want to focus to over here on this side. Now, Curry, Draymond Green, Butler, all those guys, they look good. But I really kind of feel like we should be focusing on the younger guys here, especially because they're decent value. Kuminga, this is one of those spots where I could see him extended to another 28 minutes and just going to town, giving him hell. Really could see that happening for Kuminga here. Really great GPP option, and I do like looking in that direction. Potaminski, him as well, get his rhythm back. Get him out there playing those minutes. You told us he was going to be capped around 20 minutes, still went out there and played 29, looked very good in those minutes in that time frame, knocking down his threes, getting the rebounds like what he normally already does. Decent defense. I like the upside for him at 5,700, but again, that pivot to Kuminga, that looks pretty good, and I like the upside to pivot and swing over there. Chicago Bulls taking on the Queens. Looking at it, Josh Giddey, if he's going to be in, no limitation in regards to still playing that 32, 34 minutes. I'll take it. It's a good matchup, fast pace versus them. 8,500, decent mid-tier option, stud play that you can get to with triple-double upside. Kobe White, we already know that the Queens, they don't play any defense truly as well. Kobe should be able to go out here and drop another 20-point game versus them, and it could be a little tit for tat between him and Zach LaVine, long as Zach plays as well. Vooch, I'm not really going to touch that. I was really on the fence with playing him last night, and kind of upset that I didn't, but he still played right around when I thought he was going to play, which was 30 minutes. But the upside, he dropped 42 fantasy points, sitting at 7-1. Not bad. Could be limited here on the back-to-back. Wouldn't be surprised if they decide to rule him out. But I understand that the Bulls want to win. They want to win. Are they going to win? That's the question. Outside of that, Trey Jones, as long as they start him, I don't see any reason not to want to go there. Kevin Huerter, decent option, 5,500. I would rather take my chances on Kuminga, like just for the upside. To get a little different on a 5-game slate, I would like to take Kuminga over that right there. Buzelis, he's there. If Vooch was to get ruled out and they play Zach Collins starting, I'd jump all over that. He's almost like the same thing where we look at Jones Valanciunas, which he's going to be in a smash position if he can go out here and play more than 25 minutes, keep himself out of foul trouble, going up against Vooch, this could be a very big spot for him. Double upside. We know he's going to gobble up all the rebounds that he can. He can play make a little bit, get us some defensive stats, but the scoring, if he can go out there and just do what he does, I do like the upside for him, and I don't mind taking him here today. Long as Zach LaVine plays, I'm a sucker for a revenge narrative. I'll be very honest. 8,600, that's not bad at all. I like the price tag. I like the upside. The only thing is that we're going to need him to score out the ass, get us at least 25, close to 30 points, and whatever little bit of peripheral stats he can give us, that's what we're going to need from Zach if you decide to go in that direction. Outside of that, Malik Monk, of course, he makes for a good play. If Zach's going to be out, we'll get Keon Ellis back into the starting lineup again, which played 30 minutes, 24 fantasy points. Not bad at all. But I would say if Zach was to be out, then of course Jonas Valanciunas and Malik Monk would be bigger plays for me versus trying to play up right here for the 8,200 in DeMar DeRozan. I don't mind it, but I do just think there's better value in Monk and Jonas instead of going to them. A little interesting note, if LaRavia was to miss again today, Trey Lyles will see decent minutes. Trey Lyles played 30 minutes last night. Of course, they did go a little small by not playing Jonas all the minutes in the world. And Trey Lyles, he was the benefactor of seeing that. If that's going to be the case here again today, Trey Lyles 3,700 makes for an interesting position spot you can look at and go over there. Last game of the slate, Bucks taking on the Lakers. Over here, I said it, Dame, Giannis, they had a little meeting with Doc Rivers. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of a shakeup. Something happened over here for them. And I think there could be some decent upside that we can look to in regards to trying to play these guys. For me, Dame, I like it. I think this could be one of those spots where he shakes back, possibly. Luka Doncic's defense, I'm not worried about that. Austin Reeves trying to guard as well, I'm not worried about that. Russ, he missed just a lot of layups and bunnies and different, and of course threes because they're going to leave him open, things of that nature. But I mean, it's Dame. Definitely a much better shot. Definitely can go out there and give it to us. Dropped 51 versus them earlier this month. So it should definitely be within the cards for him to go out here and do pretty much close to the same thing. Same thing for Giannis. I don't have to talk about Giannis. Who's going to defend him? Who's going to guard him? You going to double him the whole game? Just let him be able to kick out to Brook Lopez, Damian Lillard, Taurean Prince, be able to knock down some threes, because that's the one thing that the Lakers do give up. They give up their three ball. They want you to try to make your threes. And the Bucks will oblige and go ahead and do it. Kyle Kuzma, he finally was able to bounce back, had a pretty big game. I talked about it on the last video when the Bucks were on it. I said, you know what? Kuz, he's getting down into that price range where I could see an explosion game. We haven't had one from him in a minute, and he went out there. He delivered 29.5 fantasy points. Really great game from him. I like it. If you want to mess with that, maybe that could have been a position or a point of interest in regards to talking about how to integrate Kuzma a little bit more into the offense and not have to rely so much on Giannis and Dame. I can see that, but Kuzma, Lopez, Prince, all those guys being played. Kevin Porter Jr., 3,700, your DFS GPP darling right here, because he can go out there and play 19, 20 minutes and get you 30 fantasy points in that time frame. So the upside is real. It's there. But understand it is definitely a GPP option. Flip side of things for the Lakers, Luka, Austin Reeves, pretty much it. Goodwin, if he gets to start again, makes for a decent GPP option. You can mess with that. Dorian Finney-Smith was actually out there splashing threes yesterday. I told you guys eventually DFS is going to finally do something. And the three ball is starting to fall. So, but he should be primarily out there trying to guard Giannis. So maybe a fade for me whenever I think about it and look at it. But Gabe Vincent, Goodwin, Austin, Luka, those will be the main guys I would want to focus to. And I will have somebody from this late game as a late night hammer because it looks like a good game. That's going to do it for me, guys. If you guys are looking for more of the content, more of the sauce, more of the stuff I put out over here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you guys don't miss anything. And also check out that membership tab right there so you guys can go ahead and see all the stuff that you guys are missing out. Hopefully you guys catch out. 5-game slate. Good luck on your March Madness brackets and everything that you guys got going on. Peace.